Aina Godfrey Kaguta 70, Gongo 0, Chigonya 0, Gas 0, Semata 0, Mwebaze Jet 38, Tine John 0. Rutunku B at Polytechnical Playground, Nabu Z. Aina Godfrey Kaguta 80, Chigongo 0, Chigonya 0, Yaz 0, Semata 0, Mwebaze Jet 78, Pine John 0. Rutunku B at Polytechnical Playground, 8 Nabuk. Aina Godfrey 66, Chigongo Francis 0, Chigonya Angela 0, Chigonya Angela 0, Yaz 0, Semata 0, Mwebaze Jet 82, Twine John 0. Rutunku A at Community Grounds. Aina Godfrey Kaguta 70, Chigongo Francis 0, Chigonya 0, Yaz 0, Semata 0, Mwebaze Jet 63, Twine John 0. Chartagisha Chitauris. Aina Godfrey Kaguta 44, Chigongo Francis 0, Chigonya Angela 0, Yaz Moses 0, Semata Idi 0, Mwebaze Jet 32, Twine John Ezra 0. Nabinoga Primary School. Aina Godfrey Kaguta 87, Chigongo Francis 0, Chigonya 0, Yaz 1, Semata 0, Mwebaze Jet 70, Mwebaze John 0. Chamgoa Full Gospel Church. Aina Godfrey Kaguta 75, Chigongo 0, Chigonya 1, Yaz 6, Semata 0, Mwebaze Jet 33, and Twine John 0. Congo 0, 01, yes. Chigonya Angela 4, Yaz 2, Semata 0, Mwebaze John 37, Twine John Ezra 0. Rukwasi Catholic Church. Aina Godfrey 78, Chigongo Francis 1, Chigonya 9, Yaz 1, Semata 0, Mwebaze 48, Twine 1. Yaruhanga Farm. Aina Godfrey Kaguta 75, Chigongo Francis 0, Chigonya Angela 1, Yaz Moses 0, Semata Idi 0, Mwebaze Jet 11, 0.
Tally Center. The returning officers just read and declared results for directly elected members of parliament, that is in Mawogola North. All right, my producer is saying that we are already on air. Thank you so much, Samuel Senono. Now, we are at the Tally Center, that is in Sembabule district, but I am still with one of the observers, but who is also a journalist, Mr. Nicholas, and we want to understand from him how has it been as a journalist to disseminate information to the audience. How has he been able to relay all the information that is gathering on ground so that it reaches the audience that he serves? So kindly take us through. You went to the polling stations very early in the morning. You gathered all the information you had. How were you able to communicate that information given the fact that the internet had been shut down?
My friend Ivan Kawa, Ugandan is watching you this TV. What I can say, cutting off the internet was very unfortunate. It was very disappointing and heartbreaking. In fact, I can say it was an abuse of human rights, most especially the Access to Information Act, which is part of us as journalists. It gave us at the time as journalists to disseminate the information as we were on our job doing the work of disseminating the information. Because you had to write SMSs. SMS takes a lot of time to compile a lot of information. So if we had the internet on, we could use our PCs, type the information, very well compiled, and then you send to your bosses. But then with using a mere phone, the phones can jam. A lot of problems using a lot of airtime. You could reach a place with urgent information, but when you find yourself the airtime is already off, it was very unfortunate, and it gave us at the time. And I can again and again say it is a violation of human rights, most especially in this digital era. We are living in a global village. The only way we can communicate is through the internet. When you cut it off, you have cut off the whole world. You have denied those people down their rights to know what is going on in their country, what have happened where they are not, where in their area of residence, what is happening in Sembabule. I'm deep in Manyama, in Sangala, in Mawogola County. What is happening to my candidate? What is happening to the polling station? When the internet is off, those people down, they were not well covered also, because they could not follow very well on their TVs, they could not follow very well on their radios deep in the villages, because us, the journalists who were disseminating that information, we are getting that at the time. Yeah, we delayed a lot. The thing that you could send at 9 p.m. could reach at 12, or it could got aired at 2. Yet it was to be aired at 9 in the morning. But because you have been delayed, the internet is off, we got a lot of hardship.
Actually, I've been told there are some journalists who had to put the information on the taxis and buses to ply to their stations to air the content.
Yes, they did, especially our colleagues who works for the TV. They had to compile the information, make a CDs, put on flash, and then take it to the taxi. It takes like 6 to 7 hours to reach Kampala from Zimbabwe. for the information that you covered very early in the morning, and then you have another information you have covered in the noon time. That means that one will reach very late in the night.
For now, there is someone who has stood up to raise an issue. Let's listen to what she's raising an issue. They are giving her a microphone. We're going to hear what she is raising. And
thank you, Mr.
that is Mary Begumisa.
And everybody present. I am Mary Begumisa, a candidate now and a sitting member of Parliament. Now that you're going to declare the results, I want to put a few concerns before you and your team and to the group of our people, of our voters in Sembabule district and to the Ugandans at large. Sembabule district has 17 sub-counties. Since morning, I have called your office. I've called even Justice Byabakama himself about a lot of things, about voter bribery in Maogora West, Maogora County. As I talk now, abantu bange abakyali wabweru, ba agency baffe bangi baliridde ku nsiko mu Matete, Maogora County, obokisi bungi bwatwaliddwa mu Gombora zonna 3 ne Maogora West, where I come from. I called Susan and I was still at my home. A lot of injustice has been done on us as a people of Sembabule district. I want you to note, nazze wano ku ssaawa emu yennyini, I'm the only sitting member of Parliament in this room. Nga ninda okulaba bye mugenda okulangirira. To the media and to the Ugandans, it is only in Sembabule district, in the whole of Uganda, where up to now, justice has failed to come our way. It is only now where a P6 dropout is going to replace a graduate like me. Is that the NRM? And thank you, sir. Mr. Returning Officer, yagala kutegeeza ebitonotono as you go ahead to declare that we are going to court on the same, at least in Maogora County and Maogora West, where I come from, and other polling stations which I called your office since morning and no justice was given. Ebyalo bingi tubilistinze, abantu baffe bangi mbadde ku Rainbow, bazze nga bakaaba, mbalese nga bakaaba, bazzeeyo mu constituencies nga bakaaba. I told them, no, kangende babisome nga wendi ku lwammwe bannasembabule, mulibeera abajulirwa nti nayimirira ng'omubaka wammwe. Yes, I am independent. From day one, I never got justice, but it's okay. Njagadde bino bijje gye muli, neebaza Katonda the whole district bye batabbye byonna tusobodde obikuŋŋaanyaayo biibino. Ojja ku witnessinga the same handwriting. Omuntu omu n'awandiikira ebyalo 4 Nakasenya olw'ebitakuli, voter bribery, video tubadde nazo, obutambi tubadde nazo, naye nga bakulaga tokkirizibwa wadde okusemberera a station. I want to tell you, sir, if I were you, I would not go ahead to declare any results in the place of district woman Member of Parliament, Sembabule District. And if you went ahead, it's okay. It's okay. But if I were you, I would hold on a little. Call people here, Banna Sembabule. Nebakubulira, my official agent is here. Stand up, sir. He is a graduate, Mr. Chigonya Kasi. Siwa pitu ajulira obyonna bye tuyiseemu Bannasembabule bajulira, but you are free to declare as usual, but it will go at least in the annals of history. Sembabule, abantu abatono ab'olubatu baatuula ne bagiryamu olukwe ne bagirondera omubaka gwe batalondangako. I thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that is Mary Begumisa,
for raising
the woman
those
member of
concerns.
Parliament. The returning officer is responding.
I want to guide here that Electoral Commission, when it prepares, it also receives results, tallies, and declares. Any grievances that may come later are addressed where they are supposed to be addressed. The reason as to why we announce these results is to help you know what we have received and what you have. Then you can make a comparison, and you have if you have a case put forward, then you have a base. I think I'm clear, and I beg to proceed. Thank you. Not a meeting that we are going to have. Please, can we continue and we declare? Take note of where you have a discrepancy, and you will address your issues where they are supposed to be addressed. Thank you. Declaration of results. District Woman Representative to Parliament, to Town Council, Canon Ward, St. Elizabeth Center 3, Nabut Z. Kankunda Nina, 71, Chinkwire Esther, 33, Mary Begumisa, 133, Ambassador Florence, 25.
Yeah, thank you. We are now coming from Sembabule and crossing over to Lira, where Eddie Orwa is on phone and on standby there. Eddie, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I am able to hear you very clearly.
Okay. Please bring us up to speed with what is happening where you are now.
Oh yes, good morning to you and good morning to all our viewers. I'm coming to you live from Lira City at the tallying center that is here at the Lira City Council Hall, where the EC is tallying results. We still do not have any final results declared for the presidential election, for the woman member of Parliament, and also for directly elected members of parliament for the two divisions, that is Lira City and Lira City East Division. What is here is that from the preliminary results that we have, Dr. Jane Ruto Acheng is still leading in most of the polling stations, which results have been read and entered at the tally room here. But the final results is not yet out. Tallying is still ongoing.
Okay.
President Yoweri Museveni is also winning in almost all the polling stations which have been read here, and by a very big margin here in Lira City.
Okay.
We still wait to get the final results from the Independent Electoral Commission here, and then we shall be updating the public as and when they come in.
Okay.
But what we have seen earlier in the evening is that supporters of Dr. Jane Ruto Acheng have been celebrating within the town, moving around. We could hear them jubilate. And Dr. Jane Ruto Acheng herself also walked into the tally center about an hour ago. She sat there for about an hour, but I think she has moved out again to take some rest because results seem to be moving on. We are expecting the final results actually to come out in the morning, probably around 7 or 8 or even 9 a.m. in the morning.
Okay. Are results still trickling in, or they have suspended until the morning?
No, results are still trickling in. Right now, as I speak, I have just moved out so that I could be clear enough without any interference. But if I could walk back into the tally room, then you would also hear the returning officer still reading more results coming.
Okay.
The presiding officers of the different polling stations have all come with their results, and then the voting materials, of course, the ballot boxes. They are all here lined up waiting for the queue. So each and every one of them gets into the room and then sits before the returning officer and then present their results, and then the returning officer reads them. And once the returning officer does that, then the presiding officer is now free to walk out and probably even go home. So I still have very many of them, probably more than 50 of them I can see still here on the line, waiting to submit their results to the returning officer to announce them and also enter them into the system as well in the tally hall.
Okay.
So I am just walking back into the tally room so that I could give you some ambience of what is actually taking place exactly in the tally room, how results are trickling in and how they are counting them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What is your assessment of the whole exercise?
No, the process has been very, very peaceful. Of course, here there was heavy security deployment to try to ensure that nothing gets out of hand. And I think they have been on top of their game. They have managed the situation very well.
Okay.
Around the tally center, there is security presence, and they are not allowing those who are not authorized to be around the tally center to cause confusion, and the situation is being managed very well.
Okay.
We only had some small scuffle early in the day when some group of people went and surrounded the vehicle that was being used by Gender Minister, that is Beta Moi, around Boroboro West. And their claim was that she was moving around the polling stations in what they believe was an attempt of trying to mobilize people to go and vote, something they felt wasn't unnecessary. It's like campaigning on the voting day. So security had to move in swiftly and then de-escalated the situation, and then also escorted the minister together with her husband, that is Honorable G. McKenna, back to her residence, and then they requested her not now to move anywhere out of her place, and she stayed, she restrained herself into her place. We talked to police later on, who also told us the same.
Okay.
Was also requested from Dr. Jen Cheng, who also stayed home the whole day.
Okay, thank you so much, Eddie. We shall be back to you, and if there are any updates when they become announcing, you will definitely be letting us know that we can keep Uganda informed about what is happening around us. Now, thank you so much. That was Eddie from Lira City, where, of course, Lira City is another hotspot. Given the personalities that are involved in this election, just like Zimbabwe also. But I think he's saying that the exercise is moving on, has been smooth with a few of those which were expected anyway. Now, gentlemen, back to this. How do we rate ourselves now in terms of our democratic credentials? You are bringing it up from the time the 30 years and even before that, because we have moved on, elections, no elections, back to elections as a country. How do you look at ourselves today?
Yeah, like I painted a picture of a person who has been hungry and another one who is eating. But probably the other one eating some food has not yet balanced, is not yet taking a balanced diet.
But is eaten.
Exactly. So we've left the stage of being hungry in terms of the way we used to be. Now we are at a stage where we get food, but we still need a balanced diet. We are now consistent. It is within the law that we have to conduct elections after 5 years. And if the elections fail, we need by-elections, etc., etc. But there are still issues to be addressed in terms of how candidates are elected, how fairness is conducted, and of course the issues are many. We've just discussed the lack of members forwarding agents at a particular polling station. That in itself can attract scenarios that will bring issues of accountability, because some members are missing. But back to your question, the question is, how far have we traveled? If I was to assess as Dean, not as someone else, we are not doing badly. At least we are beyond the 50 mark. Exactly.
Yeah, I just love the way that you're putting it, you know, painting up a good picture. But the reality is we have moved from somewhere and we are up to somewhere.
Yeah.
You understand? We have not gotten... You see, when you ask this question, it propels me to think, you're comparing it to what? You know, what is the comparison? Because you can say that in this comparison, do we fit on that level? We're just only answering because of what we see, and we have been there, at least for some years, we have been there from times we started voting until where we are. Uganda is not yet where
we need to be.
But we are not stagnant. We are moving. This has been a peaceful election. Do we have challenges? Yes. Yes. But this is a learning scale for us to learn. The Electoral Commission also has a lot to learn and put right, but also even the people, their expectation and how they approach he was mentioning a point that is very, very crucial. This election, now people know what they are looking for in a leader. You could, I stood by that polling center and I looked at people carefully, taking time to look through those names, and which was not the case before. You understand? And these days, this election also, I had a saying from different people saying, we want now to vote for people who are going to make substance of our community.
Sure.
Now that is deep, dive. You know, you don't vote people because of, you know, it's election. And so this, we are going somewhere. And me, I would give it a 65.
Okay. In fact, at some point, we were discussing with the dean about people who are voting not to vote.
True.
Yes.
But this time it has been different. But also the turnout.
The turnout, yeah.
Yeah, because we have seen in elections where you have empty lines, and you find the polling officials having nothing to do but sleeping under the tree or something like that. But this time has been different, to the extent that when there was that delay in places where we had issues of the voting machines, that the lines extended beyond the normal 5 o'clock. So that also shows that people are getting politically involved, but also politically aware about what they need to do. And you have seen people saying, this time I have to go and vote because I have to vote for this and I have to vote for this. But also, if you are on the line, you could also see a number of the first-time voters. There's also that increasing number of the youth. The first-time voters are also coming up, which again comes back to what you are saying, that at least we have moved. Of course, elections alone may not be the best indicator, but at least it is one of the indicators that we are moving. When you compare from the elections, well, of course, Uganda started voting as early as, I think, 1958, when we had the first elections. Although the Africans were not very much involved, but you see there's been a trend, and the consistency you're talking about.
That's right.
Bwana James, if the only indicator of any system that is growing is the level of accountability and the security around issues of accountability. Recently, I'll draw you back to what has happened recently with the court martial. There have been reforms done. Recently, the new court martial chairman was appointed, but there were reforms. The reforms, even in Parliament, that whoever military person or profession that will handle issues of the court martial should have legal knowledge, which is being put into which has been put into consideration. Likewise, if we are to see this country get to another level, the issues of who appoints the EC boss, or what is the position of the Electoral Commission, that the neutrality of that institution,
the
independence matters a lot. And I know it will be solved with the time, because we've moved, like we said, we are work in progress, and Rome was not built in a day.
But now that's still being
still doing that. But those are some of the issues for the viewer who is out there, because that question keeps coming, like the question that kept coming. But who are these soldiers who sit behind the legal authority, do they have enough legal knowledge? And that has been addressed. So in a country that is growing and in a country that is attaining democracy, some of those issues come into play. So like he said, a 65, me I could give a 70. We are work in progress.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Bwana Mtuta, I think it is very important that we put a notch onto this. As much as we are a growing nation, and there is quite a different sectors that we're looking at to grow and become independent. But we should throw more emphasis on having our electoral commission independent and efficient. That will make even the people that are far in the villages look at it as vital truth, as real. You understand? You want to find an institution that they are not going to relate it to the government in power. You understand? And for me, if there is anything that we should now rush into to make sure that it is, you know, that should be electoral commission, because all other aspects, remember this EC, it controls who is coming to lead this country in the next 5 years. Yeah. So whoever that plays with EC is actually playing with what is going to get the country involved with in the next 5 years. Yes. That is your banking, that is your education, that is your health.
Yeah, because I think, like you are saying, the parliament, when they sit, maybe the next parliament or the next parliament should look at, because they're the ones who again come back to make noise.
Exactly.
About how bad this is, how bad all these claims.
But they are the orchestrators of the law.
Exactly, we expect them to sit down and agree on the law. You know, in the past, they have been saying that the EC is for government. The opposition will say EC is for government. But we have also seen even members of parliament who subscribe to the government in power also crying foul. So it means if there is any problem, it does not segregate. It comes squarely to all of us. So it will be in the best interest that if there are any issues to be addressed at that, then the whole parliament should come down and do something as nationally, because they and patriotically, not looking at the faces or looking at the colors. That will help us. But you remember, we're also discussing something that in 1958, when they were voting for the Legico, many Africans couldn't merit to go to the Legislative Council for the simple reason that many of them couldn't speak the language. They couldn't know how things were being discussed. Because you look at that the background to it is that most of the Africans at that time were coming from kingdoms. And the kingdom setup is that the structure is rigged, is set up. You either belong here or not here. You can't cross the lines. But we were discussing that, but I think it was not also fair to say that Africans could not then go to the Legico because they could not speak the language. You have come in my house for heaven's sake, and you want me to speak your language.
But also the speaker by then was appointed by the Governor General, who was the president of the time. So that in itself had issues.
Exactly. So I think there is no way we can completely divest the actions or the EC from a government.
That's right.
The government, because at the end of it, these are people who are serving in that government. You are not going to get them from somewhere else, unless you say, we are going to invite some people from somewhere to come and conduct elections in Uganda. But at the same time, that also shows that you don't have trust in the government. You see? So these are issues that we need to sit down as a country and talk.
That's right.
Because we are all affected.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That is Nakawa are back on, I think, Kampala, and we are getting results that are coming from Nakawa now.
Nachitende Salam Adeline 3, Nana Namata Anet Mafrika Mbirikawa 1, Nafuma Shamim 7, Nantege Christine Zabu 0, Naziri Amina Rukanga 59. Mulimira Naso to Osi. Kasir Evelyn Kent 0, Marende Shamim 78, Nachitende Salam Adeline 0, Nana Namata Anet Mafrika Mbelikawa 2, Namfuma Shamim 8, Nantege Christine Zab 0, Nazir Amina Rukanga 44. Now we are going to elect elected member of parliament. Apec International University. Brother Herbert Anderson 50, Boy Ivan 00. Chamba de Wilberforce 1, Nasasira Happy 2, Okumu Vincent Norbert 0, Okuye Felix 0, Ramiti Apuri 1, Senyon Joel Visekezi 92. Moimira OYE Tutin. Brother Herbert Anderson 29, Boy Ivan 1, Chamba de Wilberforce 3, Nasasira Happy 1, Okumu Vincent Norbert 0, Okuye Felix 1, Ramiti Apul 0, Senyon Joel Visekezi 125. Masalini. Brother Herbert Anderson 60, Boy Ivan 2, Chamba de Wilberforce 1, Nasasira Happy 0, Okumu Vincent Norbert 0, Okuye Felix 3, Ramiti